Getting thirsty? That's the idea. But if you stop drinking and start thinking, there's a lot going on here you might want to consider. Selling you alcohol is big business. In the US alone, we spend over $162 billion on alcohol every year. How did that happen? We have the facts.
But Buster, this isn't like you. I know, but in this episode, we're showing the evils of alcohol.
You can grab a drink just about everywhere. Drive-through markets, outdoor concerts, golf courses, even hair salons. That's because booze is tattooed into the American red, white, and brew psyche. And we're not alone. Around the world, billions of humans hoist a glass every day for a wedding, funeral, birthday, or your average Tuesday night. Which is great news for the folks that make and sell alcohol. But we the people need to remember that alcohol is actually a drug. And more of us are falling victim to high-risk drinking and alcohol use disorder, or AUD.
Our culture has become so stressed, so fast-paced, that people are turning to whatever they can to get by.
Every day, over 4,700 Americans under the age of 16 take their first drink. It's not like America invented alcohol consumption. Our species has been drinking for up to thousands of years. But what's new and noteworthy about alcohol today is the massive influence of advertising. Back in the day, our ancestors made their own brews, and maybe even sold a bit to their neighbors. But it wasn't until the 20th century and the birth of mass marketing that booze became big business. And pumping life into that business is advertising. In the United States alone, alcohol manufacturers spent almost $2 billion on advertising last year. It's the lifeblood of these companies.
Advertising is entirely about the shaping of culture.
David Jernigan is a professor at the Boston University School of Public Health.
The larger problem here is that alcohol marketing is designed to make alcohol a normal product in every setting. So the advertisements are only the tip of the iceberg.
He co-authored a study in 2017 that looks at the impact of alcohol advertising on young people. Alcohol isn't just featured in commercials. Manufacturers know the best way to normalize is to embed the imbibing in an actual TV show or movie, making you think your favorite stars love to throw back brews on the daily. In real life, Bradley Cooper and many other actors don't even drink because you can't get a six-pack with a six-pack.
And everywhere I turn, there's yoga, there's Pilates, there's all these things being advertised with wine. It's so culturally entrenched, yet we're not seeing the warning signs like we see about tobacco.
So advertising does several things. For some consumers, it confirms brand loyalty. For newbies, it introduces you to what manufacturers hope will become your drink of choice. But for all of us, the more booze ads and product placements we see, the more we might consider alcohol consumption to be a normal everyday behavior. And that's not good news, especially for teenagers. Jernigan's research shows that the more young kids are exposed to alcohol, the more likely they are to progress from experimentation into heavy drinking. But at the moment, the alcohol industry is solely in charge of its own messaging. There are no laws, only federal recommendations that say booze ads shouldn't be aimed at kids, and that commercials should only be sold in media where 70% of the audience is above the legal drinking age. So who is in charge? There is no single group representing the entire alcoholic beverage industry. But the Distilled Spirits Council of the US, or DISCUS, represents approximately 70% of distilled spirit brands sold in the country. The council developed a set of voluntary guidelines called the Code of Responsible Practices for Beverage Alcohol Advertising and Marketing. The voluntary code suggests to alcohol brands how they should advertise their products in the marketplace. Multiple attempts to obtain an interview or statement from DISCUS were unsuccessful. Approximately 16 million people in the US have an alcohol use disorder, and it kills over 88,000 people a year, according to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism. So this is clearly a serious problem. But some people say the answers are within reach. Dr. Jernigan believes that Americans should attack the 3 A's: affordability, availability,
And attractiveness is where the whole marketing thing comes into play. If we take on the 3 A's, study after study all over the world has found you can make headway here. This is exactly what we did with tobacco.
Who knew that cigarettes might offer us a healthy solution? Jernigan says American reduced tobacco consumption can be also achieved with alcohol. We just need to employ the same strategies of clear health warnings, price increases, and restricted advertising opportunities.
We don't need to ban alcohol. If we put the right policies in place, we could still have alcohol. There'd be much less drinking across the population, but there'd also be so much less harm.
So whether it's the holidays, the weekend, or your average Tuesday night, remember that alcohol advertising is just that, an ad trying to get you to buy a bottle. And no matter how attractive the message, remember that you're the gatekeeper, and you can control what you bring into your home and your body.